All right, here we go. We're going to make a St. Patrick's Day themed stained glass window. I have cut out the template on my Cricut, and now I'm tracing the template on a piece of black construction paper. You'll need two full-size sheets of black construction paper. And now what you want to do is you want to tape the two pieces together because you're going to be cutting them at the same time. And you want to give the appearance from both sides of your stained glass window that, they both look like the front. So no matter which side you're looking at, it will look nice. Also, I recommend if you're having students do this activity, that they have some really good scissors. Not any that are too big. I found that, using a smaller pair on this to cut out some of these shapes worked better. And they also need to be fairly sharp. The blunt nose scissors or ones that don't kind of close very well are not going to work for this because you really want your cuts to be nice and clean. And, that's something that I always try to work on with my students so that when we do art projects like this, their cuts aren't choppy and frayed. You want them to be nice and straight. So after they have finished cutting out all of the different openings and trimming them up and making sure that both pieces of black construction paper are cut pretty much the same. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it definitely needs to be pretty close. And taping the two pieces together definitely helps. So you're going to cut them apart. And then I like to flip the back side in so that the pencil marks don't show when you're done. And then I'm also going to start to trace the tissue paper so that when I go to cut these, since the shapes are pretty unique for this one, and the edging in between the openings is fairly thin, they have to be really exact. So when they're cutting, after they've traced, I have my students cut just a little bit outside, maybe like a quarter of an inch outside the shape they've traced, so that it can rest on the edge right outside the opening, and you can glue it down and it's secured all the way around. I also use glue stick on this part of the activity, and I like to glue from one side, get it attached. I first lay it out and make sure that it covers all of the opening. And then I work my way around the shape, just kind of securing it down. And then I move on to the next color. Now, if you're going to have your students trace, tissue paper is, obviously easy to tear. So I tell them, go as lightly as you can when you're tracing that shape. It's really just to be kind of like a general guide so that, they're not taking a piece of tissue paper and then cutting it all out and then putting it down on their template and realizing it doesn't fit. This way, they get pretty close to the actual shape. And the pencil marks on the tissue paper, if they don't trace too heavily, don't really show when you're all finished. And I think that will also make the activity the art project to go a little bit faster too, because, they're not cutting and recutting. And all right, when you're finished trimming off any excess pieces, you're really ready to glue down the whole thing. You're going to use liquid glue on this part, and you just kind of want to go around the outside edge and um, just, less is more, and secure any little pieces down that might kind of get bent. And do that on both sides. And then also you can take the tape off at this point. That doesn't need to stay on there. And there you have it. It's a nice St. Patrick's Day stained glass.